Every great man is an actor of his own ideal. Intentionally act like the person you want to become for a long period of time so you can naturally shift into that version of yourself and only do things that align with that version of yourself. That's a quote that I have in my phone that I try to live by every single day. And I feel like this is one of those quotes that can not only be applied to men, this is just a quote that all people can acquire into their life. And I think it's one of the most important quotes all people should live by, especially nowadays. And like I always say, it's always easier said than done. But once you actually take the time and the repeated repetition to apply that quote, you'll understand why I say that's one of the most important quotes to ever apply to yourself. And other people will probably word it differently. You know, if you've been on social media for a while now, you will probably hear it worded as reinventing yourself or looking at yourself as a video game character and continuously trying to maximize all your attributes. You know, the most recent one I've also heard is called quantum leaping. I heard that from a TikTok video from this dude. And there's probably some other ones that I didn't name, some other phrases, but it all boils down to acting like the person you want to become. And how do I personally think you can act like the person you want to become? I think the number one way to do that, it boils down to two, maybe three steps, most likely three. The first way is to first think it. Who is the person that I want to become? What does that person do? How does that person carry himself? How do they walk? How do they talk? And for some people, the small details probably won't matter, but you have to think about these things. Everything, every little minute detail about the person that you want to become has to be different than the version of you right now in this moment. So, first is thinking it. Who is the person you want to become? And then the second would be to write it down. Once you realize in your mind that you know who the person you want to become is, write down every single thing that that version of you has that you don't have in this moment. I know for me personally, I done that a while back, a few years ago, and I'm not 100% this version of myself yet, but I know compared to how I was a few years ago to how I am now, there's certain things that I have that the version of me a few years ago didn't. And I have all the attributes of who I want to become written down. And I'll just read it to you right now in this moment so you can have an idea of who you want to become. I titled it, Who is the Person I Want to Become? The person I want to become is someone who is extremely calm in every situation, becomes stoic, someone who takes care of themselves in all facets, someone who is extremely confident, someone who has discipline, someone who's more productive, someone who identified themselves as a leader, someone who's a better communicator, deep conversationalist, who isn't afraid to be curious and a good storyteller, someone who is a better listener, someone who keeps it real at all times, someone who doesn't compare himself to other people, someone who doesn't care what people think, someone who's going to better himself physically, someone who reads more, someone who can focus more, someone who has more substance, someone who has mastered patience, someone who has mastered being present, someone who has mastered meditation, and someone who's always trying to seek new knowledge and wisdom. And then at the end of all those attributes, I have a little affirmation I've written down that says every day God wakes me up to see another day. I'm gonna work on shifting into this version of myself so it can be the new and improved me, the version of me that I'm happy, comfortable, and proud of being. So it's just something kind of like that. Of course, it doesn't have to exactly be that. Whatever you personally want the version of you to be, you yourself have to come up with that and think about that and write down whatever personal attributes you want that version of you to be. And then the last thing to do after you think about it and you've written it down is to simply just live by it. And you have to do that unapologetically, no matter who is around you, no matter what your surroundings are looking like, even if it's around folks that you know for years, even if it makes them uncomfortable, because it's most likely gonna happen because they're so used to you being one way that if you turn around and act completely different than that version of you that they've known for years, it's gonna make them uncomfortable. But you just have to look past that. If you want to become this version of you that bad, you have to look past it. So those are the three personal steps I think it takes to act like the person you want to become. And once again, I haven't fully reached that state yet, but I definitely also feel like I have some attributes of the person that I want to become compared to me a few years ago that didn't have none of these attributes, little to none. And you should feel the same way. You should be on the same path. So that's gonna be it for this video. I hope it was something that you needed to hear, and I hope it was some gain for you. If it was some gain for you and you want to see more videos like this, then please make sure to hit the like button down below. And if you want to see more videos like this along with many other different type of videos in the future, then please make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications. But with all that being said, I'm going to end this video off here. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'm out. Peace.